Hey class, I'm back. This is still part of 4.2, you all. Here we're talking about compound interest, okay? And here I need you to copy down the compound interest formula right here. This is it right here. All of this is a compound interest formula. Make sure you copy correctly. Put it in your notes. And on here, I give you what each part of each letter means. It represents. A represents future value, or some books may say future amount, okay? That's one thing you may say, future amount or future value. That's what it means. What is this amount after so many years? Questions can be asked like that. Next letter is P. It's the principal. It's the amount of money you start off with. It's the amount of money you borrowed or you invested. Always what you start off with is the amount. Is what we call our principal. R, you all, is rate. But rate is given as a percent, and then you have to change it to a decimal when you plug it in the problem. And you all, is how many times a year do interest added to your account? How many times a year during that year, one whole year, will interest add to your account? And T represents time. And time must be in years. Okay? Over here, you all, and has some key words. Quarterly, daily, monthly, annually, and semi-annually. The numbers that I have highlighted beside each word is that number that represents N. So when you see that word in a problem, you have to use that number. So here, quarterly 4 times, daily 365, monthly 12, annually 1, and semi-annually 2. Next thing, we're talking about the value of E. Right here, you all, there's a button on your graphing calculator that says this. It'll say LN, and right above LN is E. So look for that button on your calculator. You should see that on there. That's E. E is represented by 2.7182, and it goes on. It's like pi, okay? Don't we use 3.14 for pi? Yes, but that's what E is. Giving you all time to copy this real quick, okay? The next one is still a compound interest formula, but that's if you see this word right here, continuous or continuously. If it says that the loan or if the account compounds continuously, this is the formula you have to use. You cannot use this one. You have to use this if it compounds continuously. That's when you bring in E. And look what you need. You need P, you need R and T to find the future amount, okay? I'll give you time, about a couple seconds to copy this. And then we will apply it, okay? You can also pause it in just a second too to come back and copy all this down. But you got all of this. We're going to do a couple of these right now involving compound interest. Remember, continuously, it has to say, the problem has to say continuously. This is what I use when it says continuous, this formula right here. I cannot use this. If it says continuously, I have to use this formula. Now you all, let's do some. Look what my direction says. Let's solve some compound interest problems, right? We're looking at 69, we're looking at 72. And in these problems, we're finding future value. But if you look at the direction right here, it says use the appropriate compound interest formula to find the amount that will be in the account given in the stated conditions, okay? So what will be the amount? So we're looking for future value here, okay? Or future amount here. First one we're going to do, you all, is 69. You need to be very careful here because if you round too early and you put that answer into my math lab, they're going to mark it wrong. And your number is going to look bigger than it was supposed to be. Please, you all, do not round until the very end. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that in just a second. So let's start with 69. Look what we have. Annually, we have the word semi-annually. Annually, that means n equals 1. Semi-annually, that means n equals 2. We have everything else. Look what we have here. This is our P. Look what it says. Invested. 20,000 being invested. So that's how much we're starting with. So that's P. Look at R right here is our rate. And then look at T right here is our time for because it says 4 years. Okay. We want to know the future value. Okay. So this is R right here, right? We got that. Remember, our rate has to be as a decimal and our time has to be in years. Okay, so we got that. Let's check that off. That's correct. And then we have to get R as a decimal. If it's 3%, then it's going to be 0.03 as a decimal. That's what we have to use when we plug in. Okay. Now, let's get started. The first formula we need to use is this one. A equals P equals 1 plus R over N raised to the N T. That's what we have to use. It does not say continuously at all here. So that's what we have to use. Now, we have our N, we have our R in decimal, we have everything we need to plug in. So let me start off. We're looking for future value. We said 20,000, right? Times 1 plus our rate is 0.03. A, our N is 1 because it says annually, divided by 1. All of this is 1 times, and our time is 4. You have to, y'all, I'm stressing, please do not round early because my math lab is going to mark it wrong and you're going to get the wrong answer. So just break this down. Just work this out. 1 divided by anything is just itself, right? So we get 20,000 right here times 1 plus 0.03. We can multiply this on the outside, give us 4. We can go one more step and combine these two right here. That's what we could do. Do that. Just combine that real quick so it's easier to plug in. So we get 20,000, okay, times 1.03, and then we can raise it to the 4th. This is so much easy to type in to our calculators. So let me bring the calculator up because this is what I'm going to type in. So everybody with me, right? Let's type it in. 20,000, right? Y'all break up the calculators with me so you can practice. And then I open the parentheses and then I'm typing 1.03, right? And then I have a close parentheses. And this right here, this key right here, y'all see me grab, raises this to a power. And you see it's already put my arrow, it already put it up there in the exponent, and I type in 4. Now you all, I didn't have to do anything. I'm not rounding anything early. All I have to do is press enter and it will give. We are talking about money here, you all. Money should be 2 decimal places, no more than 2. Okay, so we should get all of this here. We get 22,510. And look, money is 2 decimal places. So I take this 6, round this 7 up to an 8. Okay, so let me go back here, 22. So A gives me 22,510 and 18 cents. Talk about money. That's what it gives me. Because you all saw, I just showed you that that 7 is going to round up, that 6 is going to make that 7 round up to an 8. Okay. That's our future value. This is the amount, you all, we will have in this account if we start with $20,000, our interest rate of 3% for 4 years. This will be the total amount in our account in 4 years. Okay. Now, let's do part B. Part B says you're going to get interest added semi-annually, which means twice a year. Okay, so now our and is different. Our and is not 1, it is 2. Let's see what happens. We're using the same formula. A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the N-T. That's what we're using. Okay. Now, look what we have. It's a little different. Our N is going to be 2 now, you all. So let's plug it in. 20,000 still. We do 1 plus 0.03, all of that over 2. And then on the outside is 2 times 3. Okay? 2 times 4, excuse me. I said the wrong thing, 4. Now, let's do it. 20,000, right? And just divide this. Go in your calculator real quick and divide that. Is everybody with me? Divide those two. And you could see what we get there when we divide it. Let's do it real quick to show you. All you're doing is 0.03 divided by 2. Look what you get. You need to type all of this. Type all of that number. Okay? So let's do it. We get 1 plus 0.015 like that. And then when we multiply, that gives us 8. Do not round anything. I can't stress that enough to you all because you all try to round early and that's why you get your answer wrong. Don't round anything. Now, just like before, I'm going to combine these two together so it'll make it easier typing it in, okay? So let's do that. I get 20,000 and then I get 1.015, all of this round to the eighth, okay? Now let's see what our future value will give us now when we plug this in. This is what I'm plugging in the calculator, okay? 20,000 times 1.015, all of this raised to the eighth power. Well, just that raised to the eighth right there, the 1.018. Now, y'all see how I type it in? Let me hit enter. Look what I get, 22,529. And then look, this one tells me to raise the 5 or keep the 5 the same, right? Well, 5 is going to stay the same because 1 doesn't make it go up. So 22,529, 85. Okay. You get a little bit more. You see that if interest add one time a year or if interest add twice a year, you get a little bit more here than the once a year. Okay, so you get a little bit more there. Okay, so everybody see it, what we got here. Okay, so let me do this. And this is it for the B. Okay. Now, we just did 60, 69. Let's go to 72. Still the same thing, but we got to load something different. Everybody look, now we got a different problem. So, look, this is our P. It's being invested again. This is our interest rate now. That's rate, right? But remember, we got to move it 2 decimal place back to get a decimal, so 0.016. That's what we get, right? Look at our time. Our time is in years, so we good. That's time for us. 6.5. And then now look, it says quarterly and continuously. Quarterly means and is 4. But continuously means that we use the E formula. We have to use this formula right here. That's what we use. Okay? So we can't use anything. Remember I tell you, when we see that word continuously, that means we got to use that formula. So let's do it. Okay, we got our P, we got our R, we got T. Let's do it. Number 8, well, A. A equals P times 1 plus R over N raised to the ante. Okay, now we're plugging everything in. 15,800. 1 plus our rate is 0.016. All of this over 4 raised to the 4 times 6.5. Everybody with me? Now, here we're doing 15,000. I don't want to round early. Do not want to round early, you all. So I'm just dividing plus point, get 0.004 here, right? Now, all you have to do is now multiply what 4 times 6.5 is. Okay, 4 times 6.5. I get 26. I did it on my other calculator, sorry. Face to face. Is everybody with me? So you do it, see if you get the same thing that I get. Okay. Hello. Okay. Now you all, can't we combine this right here? Let's combine that. And look what you get when we combine that. We get 15,800. And I give me 1.004, all of this raised to the 26. Now let's put this in the calculator, you all. Let's put it in the calculator. Because that's what you got the graphing calculator for. Okay. Put it in. 15,800. Sorry, let me go back. Okay, now times 1.004, close parentheses, we're going to raise that to the 26, you all. Sorry, look what I got. I got 16. Now that's correct. So we're raising it to the 26. Let's hit enter. Do y'all see what we get? We get 17,528 and then 5 cents. because this 0 makes 5 stay the same. Okay, $17,528.05. Okay, okay, that's what we get. Do not round early. And I keep stressing that because you're going to get it wrong in my math up if you round early. You see, I just kept going until I can't break it down anymore, right? I hope y'all see that. Just take, I don't care if it's 8 decimals that come when you do divide this out. Keep those 8 decimals till the very end you're going to round, okay? Now, look, part B says continuously. Y'all see that? Continuously. So we have to use this formula A equals P times E raised to the RT. We got everything. So let's plug it in. We start with 15,800, right? That's what we start with. E raised to the, now put rate in 0.016 times 6.5, right? That's what we have. The very first thing, if I were you all, that I'm going to do is multiply these right here. I multiply this out on your calculator and then write that number in. Let's do that right here. Okay, 0.016 times 6.5. That's what we're doing. This is what I get. I'm going to substitute that in instead of that right there. Okay, so let me go back. You all, let me do it. That can give me sorry, I don't have it in right mode. That gives me that. Now, guess what? We put it in the calculator just like this. Put it in the calculator just like this. Let's do it. Sorry, I'm supposed to go to calculator, not here. 15,800. Then we hit E. Y'all see E right here, right? Y'all see this button? I was just trying to highlight it. LN. So I got to go back because that's not what I want. I got to hit second LN in order for E to show up. You see that? And then E shows up. You see the cursor? My cursor is already at the exponent. So I type the exponent in, which is 0.104. I got it just like that. Hit enter. Look what I get. 17,531. Look at this 687. That 7's going to make this 8 go up, so it's going to be 69. So 17,531. So we get, 17,531. And then that makes it what? A 9? Was it 69? I think it was 69. Let me double check. Sorry. Is it 69? Yes, 69. So we got it. Yeah. This is our final answer right here for our future value. Okay. So that's how we work this when we have the compound interest, right? Compound interest formula right here. That's how we work this. Yes, we got to substitute in. I'm telling you right now, do not round early. If y'all notice, I round at the very end. I took all the digits with me to round at the very end, okay? Now, let's do 2 more problems here. 2 more. We're dealing with one with present value, and then we're dealing one with rate, and then we're done with this, okay? The first one we're doing is with present value, and I have it highlighted. Look what it says. Find the present value that will grow to 45,000. Grow to that. That means that's what the future going to be. Its interest rate is 3.6%. It compound monthly for 1 whole year. Okay. Now, all I did was rewrite this present value formula for you, but we could have used the original and then just do what we had to divide out. Okay. Let's mark some things, you all. This is our A. This is our rate. Remember, we got to use it as a it's giving us the percent, but we got to use it as a decimal. Go back 2 places. 1, 2. So you got to put a 0 there. So you get 0.036. That's it. Compound monthly. Here's the other keyword right here, monthly. Remember, that gives you an N. And that means N is 12. Okay? That means N is 12. Right? So we have everything. Let's substitute it in. P equals A divided by And I'm going to just write this whole thing out. 1 plus r over n raised to the nt. Now, let's plug it in. We got 45,000, right? We got that on top over 1 plus r, which is 0.036. All that over n. What is n? As we said, 12. All of that raised to the n, which is 12 times 1. Right? 12 times 1. Right? Next thing, we got 45,000. All right, all of that. Then we have, in parentheses, 1 plus, you all right here, you can divide that out in the calculator. Let's do it. So y'all can see. Sorry, I keep going back to what I had. With 0.036 divided by 12. Y'all see what we get? That's what we're going to use in there instead of that, okay? 0.003, okay? 0.003. And then we can multiply this right here now, which gives us 12. Now let's summarize the bottom as much as possible. So now we get 45,000, y'all, all of that over 1.003 raised to the 12. We could put this in the calculator just like this, and this will give us our present value. You all, when I put this in the calculator, you're going to see me put this on top, but I'm going to put this in parentheses so the calculator can calculate it correctly, okay? So make sure, let's do it correctly. I'm telling you, that's one reason I'm showing you this, so you know how to put it in the calculator. Let's do it, okay? Calculator right here. All right, so what are we doing? 45,000 divided by, and the first thing I'm going to is my parentheses, okay? So let me make sure I got the number right. Okay, yeah, I got it right. 1.003. And then inside the parentheses, I'm going to raise this to the power of 12, right? Close that parentheses, right? And then let me go down because it's going to close the parentheses for me now. Y'all see that? It closes the parentheses. Now, it does the exponent in the parentheses. Y'all see that on there? But I have to close the bottom. I want everybody to see that the bottom is closed. I have that parentheses around that 12 because it's closed around the whole thing. The 1 and then the whole thing at the bottom is closed. Because if I don't close that parentheses, it'll tell it to do something else, okay? So look what we press, enter. Look what we started. We started at 43,411. How many cents? 15 cents. So 43,411. And I can't remember how many cents. How many cents we said? We said 15 cents because 15, the 1.5 don't round up. Okay. Do not round until the very end, you all. I keep stop saying that because it is so important that we don't round until the very end. The very last problem, you all. Look what we find in interest rate. The annual interest rate. And they want us to round it to the nearest tenth. That's one place after the decimal. One place after the decimal. Okay? And they want you to write it as a percent. So you're going to get it as a decimal, but you got to write it as a percent. Let's read it. We want to know the annual interest rate for an account that started off with 5,000 but grew to 6,200 if the interest is compounded quarterly for 8 years. It started, you got to read it, for 5,000 to grow. So that means this is our starter. So that has to be P. This is our A right there. So you got to understand that if it started 5,000, it grows to 6,200. That has to be our A. A's future value. You're expecting more in it, okay? Then a compound at a quarterly. Remember, that's n equals 4. And then look, we have our years. Okay, and it's in years, okay? We have our time, I should say, and it's in years. We have to use the original formula right here. But the only number we will not write in is R. We will not write this in because that's what we're looking for, okay? We're going to write everything else in, but That's the only thing we're looking for, okay? So let's do it. 6,200 right here equals 5,000 times 1 plus, we're looking for R over, the and is 4. Remember we said that right there. All of that over 4 times 8. Okay, you all that is 4 times 8. Okay. Now you all, let's do it. We will simplify this. One thing that we're going to do is simplify this. But one thing we can do real quick is, you all, is get rid of 5,000 and we can divide it on each side. So we get 6,200 divided by 5,000 equals, if we do both of them, 1 plus R over 4 raised to the 32, okay? And now this cancels out. Let's figure out what 6,200 divided by 500 give us. Sorry. 5,000, okay? 1.24. Y'all see that? 1.24. So look, we get 1.24 here. That's what it gives us, equals 1 plus, sorry, let me put the parentheses, R over 4 raised to the 32. Now you all, you probably think, well, what are we going to do? Yeah, good question. What are we going to do, right? One way we can do that, remember I taught y'all square root is opposite of square, right? And cube root is opposite of, of cube. So guess what? We can do the 32th root of this to get rid of that. We can. This is how we do it right here. We write, I'm going to write it right here. That's how you write it. That's how we write it right here. How you do it. That's the opposite, okay? If you didn't know that, now you know. Say, write it with me. Go ahead. Well, this cancels this out. And whatever's left, this thing left underneath, that's what we have. Now, this thing right here, we got to put in our calculator. I'm about to show y'all how to do that. That's why I made sure everybody have the calculators. I need y'all to have your graphing calculator. If you don't have a graphing calculator, I can't help you. I don't know how to do it. But we can put any root in a calculator, okay? So y'all see my root here is 32, y'all. Let's do it. Going back to the graphing calculator. You all, you have to put the root in first, which is 32. 32. And the next thing we have to do is hit second in math. Second, no, not second in math. Not second, just hit math. That's where we got to hit math, not second in math. Is everybody with me? Let me say it again. I'm start all over again. I'm clearing it out. You always put the root in first. 32 is my root here. And hit math only, just math. We got to stroll down to number 5 right here. That's number 5. Because that's telling me to take any root. That 5 right there tells me to take any root. So we hit 5, you all. You see how it makes it 32 root? I don't know how it's going to do it on your calculator. But you should see something like this come up. Okay? Now, hold on. Is it there? Okay. Oh, this calculator does a little different. Sorry, you all. The old calculator would let me type in. You all have the TI-83. Excuse me. If you have a TI, this has been updated, y'all. If you have a TI-83, you would do it. I just say it. Just you type in 32. You would hit math. You will click 5. If you got a TI-83, everybody with me? If it's an 84, I think this has been updated. This version has been updated, you all, where I don't even have to click that. It's going to write that for me altogether. So let me say it again, and then I'm going to go do it the right way here because I'm doing this online calculator. If you have a TI-83, and I know some of the 84s have done in the past, let me make sure. You're going to click the root, which is 32. Then you're going to hit math, and you will hit number 5. That's what you would do. I don't have to do this because this is updated. So let me show you. All I got to do now for my calculator, since this has been updated online, is hit the math, hit number 5, and you see where that red cursor is. I write in the root. So I'm telling it a root of 32. So it knows that. Then I put the cursor down because I got to get, you see that? And now I write the number 1.24 in. That's how this is getting me to do it. You all that have the graphing calculator that does not look this way, remember you hit the root first, click math, hit number 5, and then type the number underneath it. Because that 32 tells it the root on the outside for y'all. Okay? Hit enter. Look what we have. I'm going to write this entire number out, you all. I have to. Because I can't round yet. I don't want to round too early. So I'm going to write 1.0067448. That's how far I'm going to go. So let me write it. I get 1 point, let me write it again, 0, 0, sorry, 0, 0, 6, I think it's 6, hold on, let me see what it says, 6, 7, 4, 8, I think that's what it was. Let me make sure I'm correct, y'all. 4, 4, 8, okay, 4, 4, 8. This is a lot of numbers. I'll write it right there. I'll keep it right there because that's a lot of numbers that you have, okay? And then I'm going to write what's left underneath, which is 1 plus r over 4. Y'all with me? Now, we get into r. Y'all with me? Okay. The first thing I did is get rid of this. How do I do that? Minus 1, right? And when I subtract 1, look what I get. 0.0067448. That's what I did. Equals r divided by 4. How do you solve this for r? We we multiply each side by 4. Sorry, I didn't mean to say divide. That's what we do. And when we multiply by 4, we'll get r. But remember, it's going to be given to you as a decimal. You're going to have to turn it to percent. Okay? So let me multiply that. I'm saying 4 times 0.0067448. Do y'all see what we get? I got to type all these digits in. I'm typing all these digits in. 0269. 0.0269. 792. That's what I'm typing in. This is not my final answer. That's just the decimal version of the rate. It wants it in percent because it says 10th of percent. So I should only do one place after the decimal. Well, all I got to do is move 2 places right here. So it gives me 2.6. Well, guess what? 69. 9 makes that go to 7. So 2.7% is my rate. This is my final answers. This helps you all with calculator. Please pull out your calculator and practice this as I go along, or redo the video so you're practicing this.